This episode is supported by FX's The Shards, a seductive drama from executive producer Ryan Murphy. Set in 1980s Los Angeles, the series follows a group of glamorous, deeply entangled high school seniors drawn to a life of wealth, beauty, parties, and excess. At its center is Brett, whose reality begins to unravel when the arrival of a new student coincides with a series of mysterious murders. FX's The Shards premieres August 5th on FX and Hulu. These long dog days of summer, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to, probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Hey, weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Elena.
And this is Morbid.
This is Morbid, and we just got finished watching is it 2009 documentary?
I think it is 2009. Hold
Catfish, the movie.
Catfish,
not the
movie.
TV show. The movie it all stemmed from.
Oh, 2010.
2010.
Wow, for some reason I thought it was earlier than that.
That movie.
Wow. Henry aged really well.
Henry did age very well.
That's actually nuts.
But if you haven't watched that movie yet, where are you?
Honestly, everybody aged pretty well.
You gotta watch that movie. That movie will give you so many different emotions. It feels like a horror movie.
It
becomes a horror.
I stand by the fact that it turns into a horror movie.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, is this like a found footage thing?
Yeah, we thought it was a horror movie when we first watched it.
Yeah, I fully get that.
It's a weird comfort movie for me, even though it's not comforting in any way, because the time period it came out in, we watched it when we were like living with friends and we all watched it together.
Yeah.
And it has like a nice cozy feel to it. And I remember very vividly watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
So it is like one of those movies I can put on and it puts me in like a weird cozy place. I don't know, it's weird.
All right. I get it being from the time period that like feels comfy. I understand that.
Yeah.
Because there are certain movies that are just like, I love, and this movie's awful. There's one scene that I can't watch.
Oh God.
No, it's true. Hold on. I'm literally having
I'm
having problems.
Is this?
It's the Yaya Sisterhood, I think. Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood.
Said Traveling Pants.
No, oh my God, that's exactly what I was going to say. I kept going to say Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I don't know why.
Makes sense.
I was like, that's not it.
Because Sisterhood, you know?
Sisterhood, yeah. No, the Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. I love that movie, but it's like the darkest movie of all time.
I've never seen that movie.
You would hate it.
Yeah.
There's one scene that like literally I could never watch again.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it when like way too young. But I love that movie, but it's like I think it just like reminds me of childhood or something.
That's the thing. It's like it's not necessarily I will say with catfish, though, every time I feel like I know what is going to happen because I've seen it a million times.
But you're still shocked.
I'm still shocked by it. And I'm still like, you could knock me over with a goddamn feather every time.
I get it.
And we were watching it and Deb had not seen it.
Watching
Mikey
somebody
had not seen it actually. So we had them watch it for the first time and they were shocked, and watching their reactions.
That's the thing.
Made us sit there and go, wait a second. Maybe we should talk about the original Catfish movie on a bonus episode, because it'll be fun and terrifying and wild.
And if you've never seen it before, go watch it.
Don't spoil it for yourself. Go watch it.
Yeah, don't Google anything.
But maybe we have a few bonus episodes planned out ahead of time. Like we're going to be covering Eclipse. Obviously, we've got
a fun book club coming
there, and we have
America's Next Top Model.
Next Top Model. So we have those lined up, but we could do it after those, and just let us know if that sounds like a good idea. I feel like it would be it'd be fun. A fun one to like deep dive into.
It feels crimey.
Because I would also love to go into like this happening. Like the phenomenon of catfishing on the internet.
Because doesn't it feel crimey?
Oh,
identity theft is a crime.
Yeah. I mean, it does feel very crimey.
You know what I mean?
And I don't want to ruin anything. So like I feel like it would be a fun episode.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, so let us know if that sounds like a good episode, bonus episode for a few out from now.
Yeah, hit us up.
Yeah.
I have a wild case today, and Dave named this one, and I said, "What am I getting into?" Mommy and Clyde.
Mommy and Clyde.
It's the crimes of Sante and Kenny Kimes.
Okay.
And I hadn't heard of this one when I dived into it.
No, I haven't heard of it.
And I was swimming in a sea of what the fuck.
Oh, I always love that.
And it starts like really beautifully, but then it gets so sad so fast.
Let's go, girls.
And then it gets fucking dark and crazy and murderous.
Oh, man.
So it also starts on July 4th.
Oh.
On July 4th, 1998, 82-year-old Irene Silverman threw a small party for her friends at her East 65th Street townhouse.
Let's go.
She was a former ballet dancer who had studied under the famous Russian instructor Michael Fokin. And even once she was retired and got older, she never lost a single bit of her elegance. Oh, this woman is gorgeous if you look her up. Her friend John Gruen said, "She was a very exquisite woman, very beautiful. I remember offering her some coffee or tea when she came to our house. She refused, saying she was in constant pain with a bad back. She told us the only way that she could allay the pain was with champagne. And with that, she took a small bottle out of her purse and we got her a glass."
Honestly, she sounds iconic.
I love her. So it seemed like everybody who had even just a casual relationship with Irene had only good things to say about her. Her former dancer, Janice Herbert, said, "She was so hip, so funny, so awake. She was with it." Another close friend, Zhang Toy, echoed those same statements. He said, "She's vivacious. She's a lot of fun." Zhang Toy and Irene had actually been friends for many, many years. So, of course, he had been to her Manhattan townhouse for a ton of the lavish parties that she'd thrown throughout the years. And he was always amazed by the lengths that she went to just to make sure everybody was entertained. Aww. Like, anybody who was at her party, there was going to be something special for each person. He said she knew how to throw a great party during her heyday, and she had a heart of gold. Aww. So, rewinding a bit now. Irene had been born into a poor family in New Orleans, Louisiana.
New Orleans.
So you would love her. She was born in 1916. Her father was a fisherman. Her mother was a seamstress. And despite the odds, she did manage to escape that poverty through her incredible talent and commitment to dance. She was a beautiful dancer. Eventually, she landed a spot studying with some of the most famous ballet instructors in the world.
Damn.
And at her height, she was dancing on some of the most prestigious stages, which included a high-profile position with the Radio City Music Hall's classical ballet company.
Oh, shit.
Like, that's a huge deal.
That's huge.
And that was called, I believe it was called Corps de Ballet. Ooh. She used to say, "Lots of people think I'm very rich, and I am, but I've always worked. And look at where I am. And look at where I began. I'm a tough broad, a child of the Depression. I had to be self-supporting from the age of 16.
Wow.
I just love, lots of people think I'm rich, and I am. But she's like, fuck you, I worked for it.
Yeah, good for her.
She's got great energy. So in 1941, Irene married millionaire real estate broker Sam Silverman, and they were happily married until his death in 1980. Obviously, they had been married for so long, so Sam's death was incredibly hard for Irene, but she was determined to hold on to her love of life. She didn't want to just lose herself in his death. And in the years that followed, she was just making sure she was constantly surrounded by friends and family. Now she was a widow, so she had a lot of time on her hands, and she also had more money than she knew what to do with. So 59-year-old Irene enrolled in courses at Columbia University.
Wow.
Started taking classes.
Look at her.
And then she'd throw these huge parties for her classmates and her instructors. And she would regularly treat them to like small gifts or gestures of her friendship. Her friend George Frango said, these gatherings were colorful, improvised theater over which Irene presided, reveling in the intrigue and drama of it all.
She sounds like a hot fucking ticket.
She really does.
She really does.
It wasn't just that she wanted to fill her time after her husband's death either. It seems like no matter where she was, she just wanted to be surrounded by people. Like she had a love for life.
Yeah.
In the wake of Sam's passing, she decided to rent out one or two of the rooms. She had very large bedrooms in her Manhattan mansion. And over the years, she shared her home with tenants like actor Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, okay.
She rented out to Lenny Kravitz and Shaka Khan.
No big deal.
Isn't that nuts?
No big deal.
And it wasn't that she needed the money. She just didn't like being alone. And she, again, loved being around people.
And why not have really awesome people around all the time?
Well, and that's the thing. When it came to choosing tenants, she had two requirements. They had to be interesting and they had to be easy to get along with.
Honestly, that's so valid.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. So those who happily shared their lives with her usually found themselves rewarded too, in like just unexpected ways.
Yeah.
According to journalist Alex Kirsta, they might find Silverman's antique silver service and a bottle of champagne left in their dining room when she knew they were holding a party. One who had embarked on a romance with a new girlfriend came home one day to find his old bed replaced with a much larger one.
Wow.
She said, get to it.
She said, you know what?
She said, you're welcome.
I'll help.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I want to be friends with Irene.
Yeah.
So at the end of the night, just where we started on July 4th, Irene said goodbye and goodnight to her guests and she went to bed. The next morning, her maid, Aricella, came to clean up after the party. And it was a holiday, obviously, so the rest of the staff was off. And Aricella herself was planning to leave around noon. She was working a shorter shift.
Okay.
The last time she saw Irene, she was still dressed in her nightgown and her slippers. And Irene asked if Aricella would take the dog for a walk on the roof garden before she left. And Aricella was planning to leave for a few hours and then she was going to come back.
Okay.
So she was like, oh, before you go, just walk the dog. So when Aricella returned, after being away around 4 p.m., she got back. The house was empty and there was no sign of Irene anywhere, which was very strange.
Yeah.
And as far as Aricella knew, Irene didn't have any plans to go out that day. The rest of the staff was gone. And Irene, like I just told you, she loves being surrounded by people. She very rarely went anywhere alone. So it seemed highly unlikely that she would have left without saying anything to anybody.
Yeah.
So obviously concerned that something was wrong, Aricella called Irene's butler, Menji Mengistu, knowing that if anybody knew where Irene had gone, it would be Menji. But Menji hadn't heard from Irene since the day before when he left for the long weekend.
Uh-oh.
So similarly, Irene's close friend and business manager, Jeff Feig, hadn't heard from her in a day or two. And he said she hadn't mentioned having any plans to go anywhere over the holiday weekend. So he agreed it was weird.
Yeah.
So Aricella waited in the house for an hour or two. She was like, you know, she could have gone somewhere. It would be out of character, but let's not panic. But after an hour or two, the panic was starting to set in.
Yeah.
There was still no sign of Irene. So Aricella called the police. Now, strangely, the day after 4th of July is a quieter day for the Manhattan police. When the call came in about a missing elderly socialite, it didn't seem like an emergency situation, which is kind of weird to me. But the case was assigned to newly promoted junior detective Tom Hovegem. Later, he said, I'd just gotten promoted in January, so the other two guys were pretty senior to me, and they said, well, kid, this is yours, because nobody really wants a missing persons case. It's tedious work.
Damn.
I was like, that's fake as
All
fuck.
right. Cool. It's tedious to find someone missing.
So you do
nice.
it. And also, like, you're junior, so
Yeah,
you do it. I'm
you
like,
do it.
but you guys are senior, so you might be a little better at it.
And it's like a whole person missing.
Yeah, it's like somebody's loved one.
You could treat it with a little more than that.
Respect,
like.
dignity, any of the
Yeah.
above. But luckily, Detective Hovegem was a good detective. He drove to Irene's 6-story townhouse on the Upper East Side, and he started collecting information. I just, like, picturing a 6-story townhouse, all I can think of is Sonia Morgan's house.
That's literally all I could think of.
From Real Housewives of New York. But, like, to have to collect evidence from a home like that,
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Oh, my God.
And there's all this, like, expensive...
I was going to say, in this, like years
antiques.
of living in there that you have to like search through.
But you also have to be careful.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. So with Arichella as a guide, Hovajim searched the entire house and the entire property, but there was truly no sign of Irene anywhere. After searching the house, he spoke with the attendees of the party the previous evening, but didn't really find anything useful or suspicious there. And the same was true of Irene's staff. Everybody was accounted for, and nobody had any information that seemed useful in finding Irene, and none of them seemed suspicious in any way. So other than the missing homeowner, there was really just one thing that seemed out of the ordinary. Irene's current tenant, a man named Manny Guerin, also appeared to be missing.
Huh.
So about 3 weeks earlier, on June 14th, Manny Guerin showed up at Irene's door. He said he was a businessman from Palm Beach, and he was looking to rent one of her large vacant apartments upstairs.
Okay.
I think earlier I said they were rooms. They were actually apartments.
Oh, wow.
Because picture like a townhouse.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So Manny was charming. He was well-spoken. Two things that Irene prized. Seems like he might be easy to get along with.
A good tenant.
But the only weird thing was he didn't have any references or identification. What he did have, though, was $6,000 cash for the first month's rent and a promise that he would give her the references the following day. So it's a red flag for sure. But especially because we know.
I was going to say it's from like, the rear view mirror.
Exactly.
Can do a red flag.
But, and I think, she was 84. She probably is like, I can read people at this point, and like, I'm getting good vibes.
Yeah.
He's a businessman. He's got the money.
Obviously the vibes run off to her. So.
Right. So all things considered, she said she couldn't see the harm in letting him get settled and giving him a couple days to put together a list of references. So she let him move in that very day. But the problems began almost immediately.
Oh, no.
Once he moved into the large first floor apartment, he became far less charming than he had been on that first day. When Irene or the staff members interacted with him at all, he seemed to avoid eye contact, which was obviously very strange.
Yeah.
And he also would only give one word and often very blunt responses. He refused to allow the cleaning staff into his apartment.
Oh.
Which it's like,
why?
You don't own it.
Yeah.
You're renting it. And anytime Irene would press him for those references, he'd come up with one excuse or another about why he didn't have them.
Yep.
Equally troubling was the number of suspicious looking people who seemed to show up at his apartment at all hours. Including an older woman who he, quote, always seemed to shield from the security camera when letting her in.
This would fuck me up.
Yeah. Irene wasn't the only person who found him suspicious. Her staff also found him strange and disconcerting. More than once, one of them noticed him staring at Irene's open office door or like lurking around at the door.
The fuck?
Menji Mengistu, her butler, expressed his concern to many of Irene's close friends, including James Shenton. Shenton said Menji became suspicious when Guerin started getting pally and trying to turn him against Irene. Guerin asked why they were all silly enough to go on working there and said she was just a wealthy exploiter who didn't care about their future.
What?
And that they'd never end up with money or security. And he suggested they come work for him instead.
What the fuck?
But you have to imagine... Get the fuck out of here. Also, this woman has well-established relationships with these people. They know who she is.
You think you're going to turn them on her right now?
And she treats her staff like family.
That's the thing. Like, she puts her money where her mouth is.
Exactly. So eventually, several of the staff members, including Mengistu, told Irene about their concerns. They were trying to have respect for her, of course.
This guy's talking shit behind your back.
Right, exactly. Like in the beginning, I think they were like, you know what you're doing. And like, we're not going to second guess you. But I think as time went on, they were like, Irene, are you sure about this? Like, we're getting weird vibes.
Kind of shady.
And they had actually heard, I think they felt more confident sharing these concerns after they heard her arguing with him for a few days after he moved in.
Oh, damn. I thought you were going to say for a few days.
For a few days. I almost did.
I was like, the stamina that takes.
Yeah, they were arguing for days. So Irene's friend Bob Yakovic remembered Valerie and Menji both warned her not to trust him. Down in the kitchen, Menji had drawn an Ethiopian cruciform symbol on top of the fridge as if to ward off evil, saying these people mean you no good. They are bad and you should be afraid of them.
Whoa.
Irene's response was that she was an old lady who had survived many dangers and she still wasn't afraid of anybody.
She is such a bad bitch.
She really is. But still, after just 1 week...
Wow, this all happened in 1 week?
This all happened in 1 week.
Holy shit.
Irene had had enough of Manny, and she told him she wanted him out. He never got her the references.
Yeah.
He's trying to turn her staff against her. He's bringing all these weird people in. She's like, get out of here. The following day, she instructed her business manager to serve him with eviction papers before the month's lease was even up.
Good for her.
So the last time that James Shenton, a friend of Irene, saw her was June 27th, just 1 week before the 4th of July party. Irene might have talked a tough game, but she was definitely a very self-sufficient woman. But that day, her friend couldn't help but notice that she seemed particularly spooked by what was going on. Rather than sit inside to have coffee and talk like they always did, Irene insisted they go up to the rooftop garden because she was, quote, nervous of being overheard. She felt like she was being listened to.
Imagine having a rooftop garden to go to.
Fucking wish.
To talk shit.
I would never stop talking shit on my rooftop garden.
That would be the only reason for my rooftop garden.
I would name it.
And talk shit.
I would name it something about
talking shit.
Talking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would absolutely.
Oh my God. I would decorate it for optimal shit talking.
Yes. Absolutely.
Comfy chairs.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mini fridge.
Yep.
Snacks.
Teacups.
Spilling tea, metaphorically and literally.
Those chairs are going to have big comfy pillows so you can sit cross-legged.
Someday let's get a roof garden where we can talk shit.
Shaking.
We're shaking across the room. We're doing that. So they went up to the roof garden to talk shit. And when Shenton asked Irene what was wrong, she said, "I can't tell you what's wrong. I don't want to put you in danger. You'll know more next week."
That would fuck me up.
I would be like, I'm going to take you away from here. Like,
I'd be like, we got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't.
But obviously, at the same time, Irene's telling you, like, I can handle it. I'm good. So there's nothing he could have done to get involved.
No, definitely not. I just wouldn't be able to let that go. I would think about it day and night.
Yeah.
Day
absolutely.
and night.
So the disappearance
that happened to us earlier. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
When
it did happen to us earlier.
Somebody gave us a very vague, like, "Oh, don't worry about it. This person said this," and we hung up the phone and we said, "No."
We said, "Can't let it go."
We immediately texted and we're like, "Tell me everything that person said. I don't care what it was.
I need to know.
I need to know."
And we convinced them to tell us what they said.
Yeah, because I'll obsess over it forever.
And we won.
Yeah.
So the disappearance of Manny Guerin at the same time as Irene Silverman went missing was definitely suspicious.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Irene had insisted that she wanted him out and her business manager had given him eviction papers. So to Detective Hovajim, he thought it was possible that maybe Manny had just simply left as he was instructed.
Yeah, it's like it's suspicious that they are gone at the same time. But like if you look at it piecemeal, you're like, well, his disappearance isn't crazy because of what you just said.
Right.
It's just when you put it together that it gets like a little...
Well, and then as he was leaving the house, the detective, he noticed a spot of blood on the ground by the front entrance. And the case was immediately elevated to something far more concerning than just a missing person.
This is echoing the Nancy Guthrie case right now.
Okay, thank you.
In a way I can't handle.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's all I could think of while I was putting this together.
That's so weird.
Isn't it?
And that's not on purpose either.
No, it's not on purpose at all.
Which also, just a quick little thing, they still don't have like updates. They detained someone last night, but then let him go.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on in that case?
I know, it's very strange.
I'll keep watching.
The doorbell footage is haunting.
Doorbell footage is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I hate it so much.
It ruined everything about me.
Yeah.
To the core of my being.
I was watching it last night before I went to bed and I was having weird dreams afterwards. I know.
Like, such a bad idea.
Truly the worst idea. But back to this. Things only got more alarming when one of the staff members opened Manny's room for the detective. And inside, Hovajim found a small number of personal items. But what stood out most were the garbage bags, the roll of duct tape, and the shower curtain rings on the shower rod with lack of a shower curtain.
Oh.
Yeah.
That points to something.
Sure does. So the next day, Hovajim and his partner Joe Resnick held a press conference to ask for the public's help in locating Irene Silverman and Manny Guerin. They didn't have a photo of Manny, but they did have a professional quality sketch of him that Irene had actually had done a few days before she disappeared.
Wow.
Which is just next level.
Wow.
So they used that as a reference for the public. Now, Detective Ed Murray of the NYPD's Fugitive Task Force happened to be watching that press conference that day. When he saw the sketch, he immediately recognized the man, not as Manny Guerin, but as Kenny Kimes.
Oh, no.
A car thief and con artist that he had taken into custody just a day earlier, a few hours after Irene Silverman had disappeared.
Oh, no.
This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at sofi.com/morbid. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. So a few weeks before Kenny Kimes showed up at Irene's door posing as Manny Guerin, he and his mother, Sante, had fled Utah after writing a bad check to rent a Lincoln Town car. The fraud was reported to the police, and when they were discovered to be in the New York area, the Fugitive Task Force set up a sting operation to capture them.
Okay.
So from the moment that Sante and Kenny Kimes were arrested, Murray found the pair to be very odd. He said there was something that I just didn't think it was like a mother and a son. He said they were clearly related, but Sante seemed to be more like a criminal boss in the way that she talked to her son than she did like a mother. And when they pulled both their criminal records, what came back was a startling trail of crimes and suspicions of things much more serious than check fraud.
Interesting.
So Sante Kimes, let's get into who she was. Sante Kimes was born Sandra Louise Singers, I believe it is, in Oklahoma City on July 24th, 1934. She was one of 3 children born to Mary and Prame Singers. She was born during the peak of the Dust Bowl in the part of the U.S. that was most affected by the Dust Bowl, so they went on to move to L.A. to look for work. According to her oldest son, Kent Walker, Santa's oldest son, not long after arriving in L.A., Prame abandoned his family and left the children to wander the streets of LA day and night while their mother did whatever she could to support their family, which sometimes included sex work.
Yeah.
Now, it would be several decades before Kent learned that most of what he thought he knew about his mother's past was largely untrue. She had lied to him for most of his life.
Interesting.
The father had not abandoned the family. He actually died of a heart attack when Sante was about 5 years old.
That's different.
Very different. And according to her sister, Reba, we love that. They had been a solid middle-class family and nobody ever relied on sex work to support the family.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the weirdest shit I've ever heard. What?
Yeah. Considering her extensive history as a con artist and a consummate liar, it's really hard to determine what part of her life is true and what part is not true and what's a lie and what's not.
I know people who do that.
Same.
All the time. They just make up entire backstories. And it's like, why are you doing that? Like, I'm like, write a book.
I think it becomes...
You can write a whole backstory for a character in a book.
You can.
And it won't affect anyone.
I think it becomes like compulsive at a certain point.
I
and
think
then
it does. Like pathological.
And I do believe that there are people who start to believe the falsehoods that they make up. I don't know if she's one of them, but
I don't know what the difference between like pathological and compulsive would be, because like a compulsive liar and a pathological. My ex-boyfriend told me once, because he said he was one.
I think a compulsive liar
lies. He told me them.
A pathological liar lies because they can't help it. A compulsive liar lies to get out of trouble.
One of them is like, you lie when you don't have to. And I'm not kidding you. My ex-boyfriend, like, he was very matter of fact when he would get caught doing things.
Because you called him a pathological liar.
Because I said, you're a fucking pathological liar. And he said, I'm not actually, because pathological liars lie when they don't have to. And he always lied when he had to, he felt.
Well, actually, he was a pathological liar. He just wasn't a convulsive liar.
Yeah, I think he was lying when he said he wasn't a pathological liar.
That's a mindfuck. So this is according to Google. Pathological liars lie manipulatively to gain control, which is what he did.
Yep.
Attention or an advantage.
There you go.
Often with little remorse to serve a selfish agenda.
Oh,
so he's a pathological liar.
Yeah, he was wrong.
Conversely, compulsive liars lie habitually as an automatic, uncontrollable urge to cope with anxiety or stress, often about small, mundane matters without a clear motive.
Maybe I had it wrong then. Maybe it was like flipped around, that compulsive liars lie technically when they don't have to, but pathological liars.
Pathological lying is more calculated. Compulsive lying is more impulse driven.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It sounds like she could have been a pathological liar, I would say.
Yeah, she kind of sounds like she was pathological.
Yeah, but then I don't know the difference. I don't think there is a difference, but I wonder what kind of liars start to believe their own lies, if there's like a word for that.
Yeah, because
that just becomes like a mental health disorder.
But I wonder if that's just in general, like if you lie enough.
Yeah.
Which I do believe that that's a thing, because like if you lie enough, you begin to believe what you're lying about,
because your brain
will just be like, well, this is real.
It's like how you tell yourself if you're like, oh, I'm so ugly, your brain starts to believe it.
It's true. So it's like if you tell yourself anything for long enough, your brain will start to go into like survival mode of like, well, this is life now.
And
this
like
is
rewrite
now, so
history.
I should live it.
Yeah. So that's lies. But it's hard to determine what part of Santa's life is true and what's lies. Most of it's lies, I feel.
Lies.
Even her son, Kent, who's her older son, by the way, it's a little confusing because there's Kent and then there's Kenny.
I was going to say Kenny.
And then she also marries a man named Ken, which is very confusing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think she also marries a man named Kent. No, she doesn't.
Holy shit.
There's Kent, Ken, and Kenny.
That's like Ron Swanson when it's like my first ex-wife, Tammy, my second wife, Tammy, and then
his mom, Tammy.
And yes, my mother's name is Tamara.
Yeah.
And we call her Tammy. I don't understand.
It's a lot. So, even her son Kent acknowledges that his mother's backstory should be taken with a grain of salt.
For sure.
According to Santa's... Yeah, exactly. What'd you say?
Because lies.
Yeah, because lies. Pathological. So, according to Santa's version of the story, when she was still very young, she ingratiated herself to a local theater owner who took pity on her and started buying her lunches whenever she came around. And this was Dottie Seligman. Dottie's brother-in-law, Edward Chambers, and his wife Mary had always wanted children, but had been unable to have any of their own through natural means. So Dottie arranged for the couple to adopt Santa, and within a few years of living in California, she had a new home and a new name, Sandy Chambers.
What?
I don't know if that's true.
What?
It might be. It might not be.
All right.
We don't really know.
Cool.
But according to those who did know Santa during her early years, she was a liar and a thief, all while she was still in high school.
Whoa.
And her inclination to manipulate and con others only got worse the older she got.
Oh, no.
So by then, she had renamed herself Santa.
Santa.
She believed the name sounded more French and therefore more sophisticated.
I mean, is she correct? Yeah.
Actually, we were setting some... This just reminded me. We're tangenting today.
Yeah, it's one of those days.
We were setting up an account the other day, Drew was, and the guy was like, oh, should I add... I'm so sorry if I say this wrong. Ashley? And Drew was like, oh, it's just Ashley.
Ashley?
And he goes, it's spelled so fancy.
It is.
I was like, yeah.
I mean, he's right.
It is. I was like, you can just say Ash. It's so funny.
I love that a lot.
So my name is French and more sophisticated. Ashley? Imagine if I just demanded everybody call me that because I thought it sounded more sophisticated.
I think you should.
Well, Santa did. So in 1956, Santa reconnected with an old boyfriend, Edward Walker. They got married not long after, and 1 year later, her first son, Kent, with a hard T, Kent, was born. But his arrival did not do a lot to strengthen the couple's already failing marriage. At the time, Edward was a contractor who built houses in and around Sacramento, and it was a stable job with a pretty decent income. But it was far from the riches that Santa believed she deserved.
Oh, okay,
she wanted more.
Yeah.
So in 1960, she set fire to one of her husband's properties.
Holy shit.
And
that
she
escalated fast.
I said, so you know what she did about it? She collected an insurance payout.
I deserve more. And then commits arson.
Yeah. She committed lots of arson.
Damn.
So in the years that followed, several more of Edward's construction projects would, quote, burn down mysteriously.
I just feel bad for Edward.
I do too. That's his hard work.
Yeah, he's doing like...
And all the people that had to build all of that.
Yeah.
And put in hours and hours and days
she's just
of
burning
work.
them down to get you.
Yeah, she sucks. So in 1961, she was arrested and convicted, not for arson, but for shoplifting in Sacramento. Yes. And after that, it kind of seems like her marriage disintegrated. She and Edward were living apart by then. They got back together every now and again and talked of reconciling permanently. But by 1969, they finally gave up and officially divorced. Now single, Santa left Sacramento.
Ready to mingle.
And she wanted to mingle in the decidedly more glamorous Palm Springs.
Oh my.
And she took her son Kent with her. It was there that she met Ken.
Oh, okay.
So not Ken, she met Ken Kimes.
This is a lot.
Yeah. Ken was a wealthy motel developer who was nearly 20 years her senior.
Oh.
He didn't know it at the time, but their meeting had not, in fact, been by chance at all.
Oh.
Santa had read about him in his recent divorce in a magazine article, which also referenced his net worth.
Oh.
So, seeing him in the life of luxury that she believed she was entitled to, she orchestrated their meeting. And they were dating in no time.
That's confidence, though.
It's called manifesting.
I will give her that.
Look it up.
She's like, I love that she was just like, I can snag him.
And she did.
Good for you on that front.
On that.
Yeah.
Period.
Just that.
A few years later, in 1975, their son Kenny was born.
And Jesus. Kenny's Kent.
So first came Kent, then came Ken, then came Kenny.
Okay.
So Kenny is Ken Jr.
Yeah, that's the Kenny that was Manny.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're following.
We're following.
You're
Okay.
following. Get your red string out, everybody.
Look at that.
So Kenny was born in 1975, and 6 years after that, Santa and Ken officially got married in Nevada.
Okay.
And I said it right.
You did say it right.
I know, and I don't even say it like that. I did that for you guys.
Oh, I say it wrong. I was just about to, I was like, maybe I say it right. And then I said, no, I don't. I say Nevada.
We say it wrong.
Sorry.
But I said it right for the listener.
That's really nice of you.
You're welcome. So by all accounts, there never seemed to be a moment in Santa's life where she wasn't scheming, conning, ripping somebody off.
Aren't you tired?
No, I think people like that thrive.
They have to.
Because it's exhilarating to them, I think.
Yeah, I think they're those kind of people that live for drama.
Yeah, they live
like
on the
their
edge.
lifeblood. It drains me of
I was
everything
just going to say it drains the shit out of me. So even while she was living well off of Ken's millions, it seems like she just couldn't help but commit crime, if, like I just said, only for the thrill.
She just loved to crime.
She loves criming.
She loves
criming. Her last name is literally Kimes, but it should be Crimes.
Yeah.
Santa Crimes. So in the winter of 1980, just a few months before she got married to Ken, Santa was at the Town and Country Lounge in the Mayflower Hotel in Washington, D.C. Just like a little lounge area where she was drinking and eating, maybe. Probably not. When it looked like she was getting ready to leave, though, one of the patrons, Rena Beachy. Sounds like a nice lady.
And you know what? She is in a lounge.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just makes sense.
Rena
Rena Beachy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Rena Beachy watched with astonishment as Santa threw her own mink coat over the coat of another woman who wasn't paying attention. And then Santa casually stood up, put both coats on, and walked out of the restaurant. So her first son, Kent, confirmed later, that's who she was.
That is who she was.
I love that Kent is just like,
yeah, he's like, I don't know. She just did that. It reminds me of, again, a quick little tangent, but.
We're tangenty today, but it's okay.
I know, I am. Go watch on Netflix, Man on the Inside. It's Ted Danson.
Yeah.
Real funny. 2 seasons, I think.
Mink coats?
Seasons, very funny. They also have like a con woman in the second season that is reminding me very much of this. Like would pull something off.
Really?
Like that. Yeah.
I gotta watch that. You've been telling me that.
It's one of those shows that is delightful.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, if you need we could all use a little pick me up right now. A little fluffiness, a little whimsy. Man on the Inside with Ted Danson. I fucking love Ted Danson. Don't tell me anything about Ted Danson. I just love him.
Oh my God, don't.
Just don't.
Don't.
I don't want to know anything.
Don't.
To me, he's awesome. And it's a great show. So I highly recommend it if you need like a little thing. Yeah. This just reminded me of it because it's very con artist.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
So back to this. It didn't take long for the DC police to catch up with Sante, and she was charged with grand larceny because mink coats are very expensive.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
But when the trial day came, she was just nowhere to be found.
Yeah, she said that's not for me.
She said no.
No, that wasn't part of it.
No, she's a lounge girl. She's not a trial girl.
No.
So the prosecutor proceeded with the case anyway, trying her in absentia, and she was found guilty.
Oops.
Which also, it doesn't happen that often that they try you in absentia.
Yeah.
Which is a fun thing to say.
That is really
fun.
Say it.
Ready?
Absentia.
Fun.
I do like that.
So she later appealed the conviction, arguing that her constitutional rights were violated when they tried her in absentia.
Ooh.
But the lower court's conviction was upheld.
They said, no.
You know, they said you larcenied.
You did.
Grandly.
You larcenied a lot.
So this was the first of many times that she would be caught committing crimes, but she always seemed to have a way of getting out of taking responsibility. Until the slavery charge came in 1985.
What?
Yeah.
What?
She was charged with slavery
What?
in 1985.
I
The year of Big Red.
that is the year of me, but my goodness. I don't know what the fuck is happening in this case. I've never heard of it in my entire life.
It goes crazy.
I did not look at this beforehand. That just took me out.
I figured I would kind of just deliver it to you in a normal
casually
tone.
Laid down that
and
charge.
Just really get your reaction.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about this.
Okay,
Jesus.
I will. So in the mid-1980s, Sante and Ken, they were living a good life in a large house in La Jolla, California. They had a staff of housekeepers to handle most of the responsibilities around the home. At first, Sante treated the housekeeping staff very well. Kind of almost like family, almost like what we were saying with Irene earlier.
Yeah.
But the difference was, as soon as they challenged Sante in any way, they found themselves on her bad side.
Ew.
Kent said, it is just like everything else in her life. Elevated, elevated, elevated. And so the maids then became the enemy in the house.
Oh, she's such an asshole.
She sucks.
That's so gross.
So now, no longer interested in treating them well, Sante became abusive towards the housekeepers. So singling out one housekeeper who often traveled with them from California to their house in Hawaii. According to the criminal complaint, Sante was physically and verbally abusive towards this woman, who alleged that Sante and Ken locked her in her room. And she alleged, quote, she was not allowed to use a telephone or write to anyone and was never paid for her services. They literally forced her to work for them, locked her up when she wasn't working, and let her out to work. That's it. And treated her horribly and physically abused her as well.
What a fucking pair of monsters.
Yes. So as a result, Sante and her husband were charged with violating federal peonage, which is forced labor, and slavery laws.
Wow.
And they were indicted.
She's a real piece of shit.
She's a big old piece of shit.
Damn.
So the indictments were the first charges of slavery to be pursued in the United States for many, 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 many years.
Yeah, I bet.
And the evidence was damning.
Holy shit.
Ken accepted a plea deal, and he was given a short prison sentence and a large fine.
Dick.
But Sante, on the other hand, flatly rejected the accusation and actually tried to make herself the victim in all of it.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
She said
Sandra.
She took the case to trial, which is just insane. Like, I don't know why you would ever do that.
Babe.
You're literally accused of slavery.
Yeah.
And she insisted that she was being framed. The jury did not buy that, and she was ultimately found guilty, but only spent 3 years in federal prison.
3 years for a slavery charge?
Yes.
Wow.
Next level.
We're killing it.
We're a broken
We're
system.
really killing it.
We're
here.
a broken system.
We remain killing it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So the conviction and the jail sentence, you would think, would be a wake-up call for Sante.
Probably
maybe
not.
Setting her on a path toward a more responsible, maybe law-abiding life.
Nah, she's a total bitch.
Yeah, as anybody could have guessed, it didn't seem like that was the life she wanted, and she was a bitch. Actually, after being released from jail in the late 1980s, it seemed that not only did she not have any intention to stop committing crimes, but she actually had bigger and more elaborate schemes in mind.
Huh.
She was like, I only got 3 years for slavery, so I feel like I could fuck around some more.
Yeah, I mean, that'll make you think you're invincible, I guess.
Yeah. So after returning to their house in my birthplace, Honolulu, in 1989, things went back to normal for a little bit, but it wasn't long before Sante got back to her old ways.
The Kimes family, including Kent, were all living in Las Vegas when they got a call from John, who was the caretaker of the house in Hawaii. According to John, the house had caught fire and was reduced to ashes in a surprisingly short amount of time.
Oh, no.
Kent said, her oldest son said, "I knew what happened. I didn't know the specifics, but there was no doubt in my mind."
Damn.
In fact, when he heard about the news at the house, he started thinking back to his own father and all of those times that Edward Walker's construction projects had burned in quote-unquote mysterious circumstances.
He's like,
He's like, that's weird. Fire seems to follow my mom wherever she goes. So a few weeks after the house burned down, Sante obviously filed an insurance claim and she waited for her money to come in.
Of course.
But by that time, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, ATF, had taken an interest in the case and they started investigating what they believed to be arson. A short time later, Elmer Holmgren, who was an unemployed lawyer and associate of Sante and Ken's, confessed to setting the fire.
Oh, wow.
He never mentioned Sante or Ken in his confession, but many, many people suspected that Sante had somehow convinced him to set the fire. A month later, another fire occurred, this time in Elmer Holmgren's office, where he had papers stored that could implicate Sante in the arson.
Uh-oh.
Elmer still hadn't identified Sante as the one who paid him to burn the house, but she assumed that it was only a matter of time before he did, and that type of accusation obviously would have landed her back in jail.
Yeah, of course, where she belongs.
Where she belongs,
Yeah.
But she's not going to have that.
No, of course not.
And just as she expected he would, Elmer Holmgren did make a drunken confession to a friend in early 91 that it was he who had burned the house in Hawaii, but that he had done it for $3,000 given to him by Sante Kimes. But what he probably didn't expect was for his friend to immediately relay that information to ATF agents working on the case. And in exchange for a reduced sentence, he agreed to wear a wire and try to get Sante to confess to their arrangement.
Damn.
But the most federal agents ever got was a short message from Elmer who told them that the plan would have to be put on hold. He couldn't handle it. Several months later, in August, Elmer told his family he was going on vacation to Costa Rica with Sante and Ken Kimes. And
Don't do that.
That was the last time anybody ever saw him alive again.
No.
Yeah. According to Kent Walker, during a drunken fight with Kenny, his younger brother, Sante, and himself, his brother admitted that their mother had murdered Elmer Holmgren.
Holy shit.
Kenny allegedly shouted, "She killed that guy. She was sitting in the back seat and she hit him with a hammer."
Oh my God.
Yeah. Several years later, in 2000, Kenny would repeat that confession, this time to federal authorities, but no charges were ever brought against Sante or Kenny, and Elmer's body has never been found.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's diabolical.
Yeah. Do you remember in school when you just knew that your teacher had a favorite of everything? They would always use the same blue dry erase marker when they wrote on the board, or they would talk nonstop about their favorite element during science. I had a teacher once that literally had a favorite brand of marker. She would only write with specific markers, and if another marker ended up in her classroom, she was TO'd. And honestly, I was probably her favorite student because at the end of the year, I got her that specific brand of marker. Let's talk about their real favorite thing, though. Their favorite tissue brand. Kleenex. According to Teacher List, they are the #1 facial tissue trusted by teachers. Kleenex Ultra Soft tissues are silky soft to help prevent skin irritation, and now you can take them anywhere with Kleenex Snap and Go. I absolutely love Kleenex Snap and Go. It's so perfect to have that in your car. I had a cold last week and I was just... Honey, my nose was a faucet. I hate to do this to you, but it was disgusting. Drew literally came out of our garage with like 15 of the Kleenex Snap and Goes, and I put those in my glove compartment, and honey, they were easy access. It was so nice knowing that I didn't have to blow my nose into like an old wrapper that I had. Ew. So do the best thing for your kids' teachers and stock up on the ultimate classroom favorite. Maybe it'll make them their teacher's favorite student. They definitely have a favorite. Don't even get me started because, again, you know it was me. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat, comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. So in the years that followed, Sante and Ken Sr., the husband, seemed to be laying low and avoiding the attention of law enforcement somehow. But then, out of the blue in 1994, poor Kent got a call from his mother, who was in hysterics.
I'm feeling bad about Kent.
I do too, but there's good news.
Can I feel bad about Kent then?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
You could totally feel bad.
I've been wanting to say that, but I was like, what if he's terrible too?
No, he's great.
Okay.
As far as I don't actually know anything
From
about
what
him,
you've seen.
but from what I've seen, he's great.
Okay.
And there's like a nice little sprinkle in here that I'm glad we'll get there. So, but before that, in 1994, he gets this call from his mom. She's hysterical, and she keeps repeating over and over, they won't fix him. And then she just hung up. That's it. Which is like, maybe relay information.
Yeah.
Ken had no idea what she was talking about, but eventually he learned that his mother was referring to Ken Sr., who had just died from a brain aneurysm.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I would feel a little bit worse if he wasn't guilty of slavery.
If he wasn't charged with slavery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So charged and convicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So Ken's death sent Sante into a downward spiral, if she wasn't already in one, and that caused her to become more erratic than ever. Not only because her husband and literal partner in crime was gone, but also because when he died, he left her with nothing.
Wow.
He left her with nothing.
I mean, if you're both like that, how are you expecting that you have an actual partner?
Well, and
that person's whole life is lying and conning,
exactly.
Just like yours. They're going to lie and con you too.
Well, and the thing was, it wasn't even necessarily a lie and con situation. They'd been together for 20 years, and by that point, they'd blown through almost everything he had.
Damn.
Aside from a few non-liquid assets that weren't easy to access.
Wow.
So she didn't have any accounts of her own at that time, so she really had nothing. Damn. So her frantic desperation started to scare the shit out of Kent, her oldest son, and he eventually made the decision to step away from his family and build a healthier life for himself.
Kent.
Yeah.
Kent.
Yeah.
Kent.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Kent.
Yeah, I am too.
You know what? I know nothing about you.
But I'm proud of you for that.
But I'm very proud of you for that. And I hope you built a very healthy life for yourself and you're happy and thriving.
And it's not easy to walk away from people.
No.
Like, it's really not. But
it's
necessary
healthy.
Sometimes.
That's healthy and that's healthness and wellness.
It is.
You know?
It's healthy and wealthy. I thought is what you were going to say.
I was going to say that.
It is healthy and wealthy.
Good job, Kent. I'm very proud of him. What a boundary.
Yeah, we love a boundary king. And in the 90s, establishing a boundary, tough.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
Tough.
Yeah.
Or even in the early aughts.
No.
So, of course, with Ken Kimes dead and Kent having become estranged from his mother and his brother, that left Kenny alone to deal with his dangerous and increasingly desperate mother, who proved that she would stop at nothing to get what she wanted. Over the course of the next 2 years, Sante combed all of Ken's accounts looking for whatever money was left after his death. In September of 1996, Sante and Kenny, her son, were in the Bahamas, staying at the house that they owned in Nassau. And they had dinner with 48-year-old Saeed Bilal Ahmed. I looked up that pronunciation. I so hope I'm saying it correctly. That's what the internet told me to say. Saeed was an executive at the First Cayman Bank, where Ken had stashed some of his money. Sante invited Ahmed to dinner in the hopes that she could convince him to release $850,000 that was in Ken's account to her, despite the fact that she was not a signatory on the account.
Damn.
Yeah. So in the weeks leading up to that night, she had sent several faxes and other documents over to the bank with Ken's forged signature, demanding that the money be sent to various American addresses. But all of the requests were obviously unsuccessful because they were like, that man is dead. And
he didn't sign this.
We can't do that. Now, in addition to his executive role at the bank, Ahmed was also the bank's auditor. So he would have been made aware of any potential fraud or attempts at fraud. So obviously he suspected Sante Kimes of trying to fraudulently access the money in the account.
He's like, this is kind of my thing.
And he's like, yeah, I guess I'll have dinner with you, but like, I know what you're up to.
I know you're a fraudster.
Yeah. And those suspicions of fraud would have been confirmed quickly once the bank learned that Ken Kimes, like I just said, was in fact dead.
Yeah.
On the night of September 4th, Sante and Kenny met with Ahmed for dinner at the Androsia, which is a restaurant in Nassau. Whatever happened during that dinner is unknown, but the staff at the restaurant recalled seeing Sante and Kenny leave with their dinner guest a little after 10 p.m., and Saeed Bilal Ahmed was never seen again.
What the fuck? This is crazy.
It's diabolical.
Yeah.
I had no idea how layered this was. A few days later, police in the Bahamas opened an investigation into Ahmed's disappearance. So not only were the mother and son the last people to be seen with the missing man, but a hotel employee at the Radisson, where Ahmed had been staying, reported 2 people matching the Kimes' description, attempting to get access to Ahmed's room a few days before he disappeared.
They were planning this, like, well ahead of time.
Malice aforethought, my darling.
Yeah, very much.
Despite their strong suspicions that they were responsible for Ahmed's disappearance, they weren't ever able to come up with anything strong enough to make an arrest.
Damn.
And it was only after Sante and Kenny were arrested on those several other crimes and facing the death penalty that Kenny Kimes confessed that he had drugged Ahmed that night, drowned him in the bathtub, and dumped his body in the ocean, all at Sante's request.
Holy shit.
And it's like, that's not going to get you the money either. So what's the fucking point?
What the fuck?
You're just diabolical.
You're just evil.
So after the murder of Saeed Bilal Ahmed, Sante spent months trying to fraudulently access her husband's accounts, demanding that the money be sent to some random address in the US. But obviously she was unsuccessful because people are smarter than that. According to Kent Walker, after Ahmed disappeared, the First Cayman Bank was being liquidated. He said in part because of Ahmed's disappearance. Because he was such a big part of the bank.
Yeah, he was an auditor.
Yeah. That meant that by killing Saeed Bilal Ahmed, Sante had made the goal of getting Ken's money impossible. She fucked herself.
And honestly, I hope that's his like final fuck you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad.
Truly. And I hope she thought of that every day for the rest of her life. So by the fall of 1997, Sante and Kenny were basically broke, living in a rundown 1-bedroom apartment in Fort Lauderdale.
Oops.
And that's when she came up with her latest scheme. Several years earlier, before Ken's death, Sante and Ken had transferred one of their properties to their friend Dave Kasdan in order to hide it from federal authorities. Ken and Kasdan had been friends since the 70s, and he had always been willing to help whenever they found themselves in a jam. He was a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
In 98, Sante remembered that house, which imagine just having a home that you forgot about.
Yeah,
She's like, we're really in a pinch. What do we do? Oh, I have that house.
Yeah,
I've got that house. So she came up with a scheme to get some quick cash. After convincing a notary to forge Kasdan's signature on a loan document, which, like, who are you, brother?
Seriously.
She took out a loan for $280,000 in Dave Kasdan's name, using the house that they'd transferred as collateral.
Holy shit.
The loan went through and Sante got the money, but in late January, Dave Kasdan also learned of the scheme when he got a notice in the mail informing him that he'd taken out a second mortgage on a home he didn't even think he still owned.
Wow.
Yeah. This is some rich people shit.
Yeah.
So when Kasdan called the bank to report the fraud, it was already too late. Sante had already cashed the check and moved the funds into an offshore bank account.
I'm exhausted just listening to this. I don't know how people live like this.
I don't either.
I really don't.
I also don't know how people keep track of all this shit.
Because I'm allergic to admin.
It's
so
true.
I can't imagine this.
I don't even like the admin that I have to do.
Yeah, this is so much admin.
Yeah, it's a
and
lot.
it's just a lot of talking to people. It's a lot of convincing people. It's a lot of like,
yeah.
I'm tired. It's
Pretty terrible. Pretty fucking terrible. So it turned out that the loan scheme was just the first step in Sante's process.
Lord.
A few weeks later, Dave Kasdan got a call informing him that his home in Las Vegas had burned down.
My goodness, the arson.
The arson is everywhere. In the days that followed, it was discovered that Sante had taken out an insurance claim on that house. And by the time Kasdan learned all the details, she'd already made off with the money. She's diabolical.
She's lava.
So when Dave Kasdan started making reports to the authorities about who he thought was responsible for all the fraud, he started getting letters and faxes from Sante. In a fax from late February 1998, she wrote, "I'll give you 5 days to stop all these lies. You know you endorsed the loan. Why are you doing this?"
Wow.
So she's literally like
gaslighting
him. She thought that establishing a paper trail would help support her claim that she had nothing to do with the fraud and she was being framed.
Yeah.
But at some point, she obviously realized that wasn't going to work, and she came up with another plan. 2 weeks after her last fax to Dave Kasdan, his body was discovered in a dumpster at the Los Angeles International Airport. He'd been shot in the back of the head.
This lady needs to be stopped.
She sure does. The coroner quickly identified him and made a homicide investigation was opened, and that was led by LAPD detective Bill Cox. It didn't take long for Cox and his partner to learn that Kasdan had recently been the victim of financial fraud, and according to his daughter, somebody had been harassing him in the weeks leading up to his death. The daughter told them that her father was being harassed by Sante Kimes, and she suspected that Kimes had something to do with the death. So, the detectives went to speak with Sante, but they missed her by just a few hours.
Oh, of course.
By that time, she and Kenny had fled to Los Angeles in that Lincoln Town car that they picked up in Utah several weeks earlier. Remember, paying with a bad check.
Wow.
So for months, detectives in LA dug into Sante Kimes' criminal history and reached out to any of her known contacts in the hope that somebody might know where she had gone, but they just kept coming up empty. Then in July, when Irene disappeared, Detective Bill Cox got a call from a detective in New York informing him that Sante had been arrested there and she and her son were suspected of murdering Irene Silverman.
Oh.
So we went on a big old roundabout and we're all the way back.
Yep.
So when Sante and Kenny were arrested outside the Hilton Hotel in Manhattan, it had been on suspicion of check fraud in Utah. But what investigators found in their hotel room implied that something much larger was going on. In a bag, detectives found Irene Silverman's house keys, her passport, her checkbook, her social security card, and countless other personal documents.
Man.
When detectives found the Lincoln Town car 2 days earlier, they also found more damning evidence. They found several automatic pistols and ammunition, 10 different wigs, the sedative flunitrazepam, and boxes of documents related to their business associates, including Elmer Holmgren, Dave Kasdan, and Saeed Bilal Ahmed. They also,
wild.
That's not even it. They also discovered 8 microcassettes of recordings of telephone conversations between Irene and a woman who would eventually be identified as Sante Kimes.
Holy shit.
So they literally just had like the smoking gun, basically.
Yeah, they had
with
everything.
Them. In one of the conversations, Sante posed as a manager of a Las Vegas casino and was trying to persuade Irene to share her social security number in order for the casino to finalize details of a free trip that she had won. The Jen Shaw of it all.
I can't imagine living life like this. I don't understand
And
this
targeting
kind
an
of thing.
elderly woman, an elderly socialite.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
What the fuck?
I mean, she's already been convicted of slavery, so we know that there's a lot wrong with
she
her.
has nothing inside of her.
So in the months that followed their arrest, investigators worked tirelessly to rebuild Sante's extensive criminal history, which must have been exhausting.
Yeah.
Because that included at that point arson, fraud, slavery, at least 3 suspected murders.
Shit.
And the murders stretched across the U.S. and into the Caribbean.
My God.
They also started digging into Kenny's history. And in doing that, they found that he was a young man who from a very early age had been shaped and molded into exactly what his mom wanted him to be.
So disgusting.
An accomplice, not a son. In addition to the crimes that he was believed to have committed with his mom, he'd also been arrested for domestic violence and assault. He had beat up one of his former girlfriends and another student when he was briefly in college.
Ew, disgusting.
Yeah, he's gross. Disgusting.
Literally.
So the case of Irene Silverman and Sante and Kenny Kimes quickly became a national sensation, of course. The press dug up Santa's old nickname, which was the Dragon Lady.
Yep.
Because of her association with arson, of course. Yep. But most were more fond of the new moniker that they'd given the pair, Mommy and Clyde.
Mommy and Clyde is the perfect way to describe this.
It's also diabolical.
It is very diabolical.
When I first read that, though, I was in.
Yeah.
That makes you just want to know everything.
You're like, what?
Yeah. I love a moniker.
Yeah.
So the first big break in the case came in late July when investigators found a notarized deed in Sante's possession, which seemed to indicate that Irene transferred ownership of her townhouse to Sante and Kenny at a value of $390,000.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
That was less than 10% of its value.
Wow.
No.
Good try.
And despite the compelling evidence, though, Sante and Kenny both maintained they had nothing to do with Irene's disappearance.
You lie.
We just have her checkbook, her passport, her social security card.
And
recordings
of
us
trying to fraud her.
Yeah. It's just, we were doing that, but we didn't kill her.
Yeah, I don't even know her.
Oh, okay. For the prosecutors, the biggest problem wasn't that they maintained their innocence. It was the fact that they still hadn't found Irene Silverman. Yeah. They didn't have a body. And at that time, she obviously was assumed to be dead. Despite the lack of a body, though, District Attorney Robert Morgenthau decided to move forward with the case. And in December of 1998, Sante and Kenny Kimes were indicted for murder on purely circumstantial evidence. Yeah. Morgenthau said, "The mere fact you don't have a body doesn't give somebody a walk. All the facts show that the murder was committed."
Yeah.
Which is very true.
Where is she?
So when the trial finally arrived in the spring of 2000, it was exactly as sensational and chaotic as everybody expected. Before both sides had even selected the jury, Sante had to be ordered by the judge to stop speaking to the media after she continuously reached out to members of the press to give interviews.
That checks.
She was also caught passing a note to New York Times journalist David Rodencourt, and the note said, "The deed is real. The notary is liable and lying. They know where she is."
Girl, you're doing the most.
Yeah. And then that wasn't even her doing the most. That was just the beginning of her crazy-ass behavior.
She's already doing the most.
In late April, after the judge repeatedly told her lawyer to stop a certain line of questioning, Sante became irate and started yelling at the judge, "Your Honor, how can we have fairness?" And then she went on to compare the trial to the Salem witch trials and then told the judge that she was, quote, murdering the Constitution.
Shut the fuck up.
This bitch went nuts.
I hope someone just said, shut the fuck up.
Can you imagine being accused of murdering the Constitution?
Like, you know what? Get a life.
Get a life.
Get a life.
So throughout the trial, the prosecutor called over 100 witnesses, all of whom spoke to the criminality of Sante and Kenny.
Mommy and Clyde.
And presented a ton of evidence that established a direct connection to Irene Silverman. The only thing that they couldn't get around was the fact that there still was no body and technically no conclusive proof of murder. But in his closing statement, defense attorney Michael Hardy reminded the jury of that very thing. He said, "There's no body, no witnesses, there's no proof of any murder at all."
Oh, yeah.
So on May 16th, the jury retired for deliberation. And when they returned 2 days later, they found both defendants guilty.
Good. I was going to say, if they get off, I'm going to riot in the streets.
Yeah, no. They were both found guilty, not just of the murder of Irene Silverman, but on over 100 other charges related to fraud, larceny, and kidnapping, among others.
Yeah.
That next month, they went before a judge to be sentenced, and the judge referred to Sante as a sociopath of unremitting malevolence.
Yes.
And her son as a vacuous dupe. who had evolved into a remorseless predator under his mother's influence.
I have never heard a better description of two people in my entire life.
Vacuous dupe goes crazy.
No notes.
Obsessed.
No notes.
You are a sociopath of unremitting malevolence.
And a vacuous dupe and a remorseless predator.
Obsessed.
Just mwah.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
When asked if they had anything to say on their own behalf, Sante spoke up for the both of them, and she said, "All of our precious civil and constitutional rights were trampled, much like the witch hunts of old Salem.
You shut your mouth.
Police planted evidence to fool the jury. No one has been told the truth in this case."
That's not even a good,
No.
correlation.
What are you talking about?
Police, what are you talking about?
You have nothing to do with the Salem witch trial. Shut up. So when basically the judge felt the same way, and they were like, "Okay, are you done speaking?" And she was like, "I'm all done." And he said, "Okay, cool." She said, "I sentence you to 120 years in prison."
Hell yeah.
And Kenny was sentenced to 126 years in prison.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just love how it was like 6 more years.
He was like, "You done here? You done here?"
Yeah.
Okay. So in the wake of their sentencing, Sante and Kenny, of course, did not just fade into obscurity. Of
course not.
Still facing potential murder charges in California, Nevada, and Nassau, Kenny felt that it was his duty to make sure his mommy was spared from the worst of the consequences.
Damn, dude.
So in October, during an interview with Court TV reporter Maria Zone, Kenny took her hostage by holding a ballpoint pen to her throat.
What?
While holding her hostage, he demanded his mother not be extradited to Los Angeles, where they both faced the death penalty for the murder of Dave Kasdan. Fortunately, officers were able to create a distraction that allowed them to safely remove Maria Zone from the room, and Kenny's attempts to save his mommy failed.
He is so pathetic.
It's really pathetic.
Ew.
Yucky. A few months later, both Sante and Kenny were extradited to Los Angeles and charged with Dave Kasdan's murder. Now facing the death penalty, Kenny accepted a plea deal from the prosecutor where he would confess to the murders in exchange for taking both death penalty sentences off the table.
Wow.
After pleading guilty, he confessed to the murders of Saeed Bilal Ahmed, David Kasdan, and Irene Silverman. And as part of the deal, he was required to detail all of the crimes for investigators. So according to Kenny, after they failed to get Irene's money through deception, they resorted to violence. On the afternoon of July 5th, they went to the townhouse where he and Sante tased Irene, an 84-year-old woman, and then Kenny strangled her.
Oh, poor Irene.
Once she was dead, they put her body in several garbage bags and put her in a dumpster in Hoboken, New Jersey. To this day, her remains have never been found.
Wow.
And I just want everybody to remember how I described Irene for you, the lengths that she went to make other people feel special, and all of the connections that woman had.
How generous she was.
How generous she was, how talented. And they wrapped her body up and threw it in a dumpster in Hoboken.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's wild.
All for money.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Which, meanwhile, if he had been nice to her and actually ingratiated himself,
to him too.
he probably would have got money or something, anything.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2004, they were both found guilty of Dave Kasdan's murder, but no charges have ever been brought up in the other two cases. After their convictions, Sante returned to New York to continue serving her life sentence for the murder of Irene Silverman. And on May 19th, 2014, she died of natural causes at Bedford Hills Correction Facility for Women. She was 79.
It's pretty old.
I feel like that's kind of young to die of natural causes, 79.
In prison, though?
Yeah, in prison, that's true. Kenny Kimes remains incarcerated at the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego, California. And that is the case of Mommy and Clyde.
Wow.
Jam-packed.
That was a nonstop thrill ride.
Wasn't it?
I'm shook.
It was insane.
And what kills me is the amount of people that they just disposed of.
They were nothing.
When they didn't need them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or when they didn't give them what they wanted.
Exactly.
That's so disgusting. It's such predatory, inhuman behavior.
And obviously Kenny is a piece of shit. But it's really sad that
he was just
he was molded to be what he was.
That's the thing, that he was just he didn't have a choice.
You feel bad for the child version of him.
And then he became an adult.
When you become an adult, you make your own choices.
That's
exactly.
The thing. You don't choose as a child, but as an adult, you make a choice.
You very much choose.
And he made a bad choice.
I think we need a fun fact.
Yeah, we do.
Do you want to hear the fun fact I found?
I really do.
The world's oldest dog lived to be 29 and a half years old.
I want to have that dog.
And their name was Bluey.
Bluey? Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. That is a fun
Bluey,
fact.
the Australian cattle dog, survived to the ripe old age of 29 and a half.
I want my dogs to live to 29 and
Sydney,
a half. To 30.
Blanche, and Dolores will live to be 100. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will take no further questions.
With that, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep it weird. And definitely so weird that you spend the rest of your life with your dog.
Yeah.
Because they're going to live forever.
Do it.
Bye. That's so weird to Santa, though.
No.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find a pro for your project at Angie.com.
In the U.S., there's a break-in every 26 seconds. But when intruders step near, Simply Safe Home Security steps up.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on the way.
Using AI alerts, U.S.-based live agents help deter break-ins. Simply Safe, no long-term contracts. Save 50% on your new system with professional monitoring at simplysafe.com/SXM or with promo code SXM.
Outdoor deterrence requires a Simply Safe Active Guard outdoor protection plan starting at $49.99 a month. Visit simplysafe.com/licenses for alarm license information. Tennessee 2012.